Hello everyone, how's it going? Today we're going to be playing the third wing of the Naxxramas expansion pack, which is the military quarter. For those of you who played World of Warcraft, you would probably know what to expect here.
Please ignore the mind control.
So the first one is Instructor Resuvius, and his hero power is to deal 3 damage. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. He can deal 3 damage to any target he chooses. That does mean he can get past taunts, and it does mean he can target you directly. It's obviously a lot more powerful than many of the other hero powers we've seen in Naxxramas, and it was quite a challenging boss fight. I mean, it wasn't challenging, but it was fun. As usual, I wasn't sure what to expect, and therefore I went in with a pretty standard control deck. I decided to try control shaman this time instead of the control druid, just for a change of pace. So right off the bat, you can see that you get the crystal to take 2 of his minions, which are the 0-7 taunts. And the reasoning behind that is because of the weapon that he's gonna get soon. So like most of the Naxxramas bosses, his nature is to try and rush you down as much as possible. He just gets past taunts, rushes you down, and only really trades when he has a really good trade opportunity. So here he has the Death Lord, I believe it's called, and he has the Death Rattle of when you kill him, it summons a random monster from your deck.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
And there is the Unbalancing Strike. Sends out the Spell Power Totem, and since he has 3 minions on the board, it seems like a good choice to use Lightning Storm. Lucky for me, it does deal 4 damage, and that allows me to finish him off with the Yeti, and it gets me my 3/3 Overseer. Not the best creature to get since I didn't get his heal, and well, it's alright though. So next up, he plays a Spiteful Smith. I was thinking of ignoring it, but I figured that since he plays Spiteful Smith, a weapon was going to be coming soon, and I didn't want him to get that enrage on the weapon, so I finished it off. And he gets Brawl, which was definitely unexpected, and it gets rid of pretty much everything except the 0-1, which is more or less the most useless thing over there. I even had a 0-2, but that was just bad luck. Nothing that could have been done. And he puts down a Cleave, and there is the massive Rune Blade. You can see it has 5 damage and 2 charges, which is powerful, but when it hits you directly in the face, it deals double damage. So now you can kind of understand why you get those 2 taunts in the beginning, because he can actually get this sword on turn 2 if he coins into it, or on turn 3 if he doesn't coin into it. I was lucky that he didn't get it until very late into the game. And there's the blade once again. So using the Earthen Farseer, I put myself just above lethal damage range, and pretty much just had to pray that he didn't have direct damage, because I did get a 0-2 taunt, which I was assuming he would finish off with the Unbalancing Strike. Instead, he decides not to go to the face.
Join me in death.
And now I have my Windlord and Ancestral Spirit, I think it's called, which is a great combo because it allows me to finish off both of his minions. It brings him back, and I still have the charge to deal 6 damage in his face, and I get to keep the Divine Shield. So this guy is pretty much the perfect counter to this boss. Like, he definitely saved my ass here. So he has a 4-5, which is a lot more powerful than my board, that's for sure, but I just lava burst him because there's no reason not to. He's out of cards, and I have a pretty strong board, so just rush him down. and I drew into Ragnaros, and I also have Sylvanas in my hand. There's a lot of options here. I clearly have board control, and I hexed the sword, which gets rid of its death rattle, which gives me a card, but I didn't really need the card draw right now, and it was kind of difficult to deal with. Another Wailing Soul, and it's time to put out Ragnaros and go for the face. Avenging Wrath coming out, which isn't going to do much good at all. He would have been extremely lucky to actually kill one of my useful creatures, but he obviously wasn't, and that is far above lethal damage. I was just trying to maximize it there for fun. But yeah, that was definitely an easy win. I also had Ragnaros at the end, so that's another 8 damage right there. So pretty fun match, I enjoyed it, and next up is, I do not remember his name, I'm sorry, Gothic the Harvester, and his hero power is to draw a card, so pretty similar to the Warlock, except he doesn't sacrifice 2 health for it. I did have to make a specific deck for this person. My first match against him was just absolutely terrible because I had no idea of his, I didn't know about his mechanics, and you'll actually get a look at his mechanics right now. You don't have to design a deck to counter him, but it made it a lot easier for me because it's a very strange mechanic that he has there, and getting rid of it definitely helps. So as you can see, I have 2 poison seeds in my hand, and you will see the usefulness of them right now.
We'll pay you a visit.
Spent a little bit too much time thinking of what to do this turn, but there you go. There's the 0-2. So when you kill any one of his, well, not any one of his minions, but a specific one of his minions, such as this creature that he just summoned here, you end up getting a 0-2, 0-4, or 0-6 minion on your board that deals 1 damage to you. So as you can see here, I now got the 0-4, and that's just damage that's going to keep adding up, and is damage that you're going to keep taking. And that is exactly why I have the poison seeds, because it's going to turn these creatures into something useful, and it's going to simultaneously get rid of his creatures. So it's kind of a win-win situation. I didn't want to use it just yet because I wanted to get a bigger board to benefit more out of it, and now is a decent time, especially since he had used the corruption on my Yeti. I was going to lose that Yeti anyways, so I really maximized the potential of the poison seeds and got 4 trends out of it. So he played the Unrelenting Rider, and this is the card that gives you the 0-6 when killed. Now again, a 0-6, you can't use it, obviously, it's just really hard to kill. How are you going to get 6 damage to kill off one of your own creatures? And if you do have a way to deal 6 damage, that you're obviously wasting it on your own creatures. So, it is, you are gonna get some of those ghosts, and you will have to just either tank the damage, you're gonna have to tank the 1 damage to deal to you every turn, or you're just gonna have to ignore them and rush them down. So I played the Ancient Watcher and the Silent Stone with the Keeper. Pretty standard combo.
What we do.
And since I have a pretty huge board right now, most of them have less value than a 2-2 to me at the moment. But I still had my Watcher, who is the equivalent of a Yeti. And just to kind of heal them all up, in a sense, I used that.
Are you ready for this?
as you can see, I do have a Force of Nature in my hand, which gives me 6 damage charge, so that was a good finisher right there, with 6 Trents on the board. And another enjoyable match, I guess. There's much more theme to the matches in the military quarter compared to the other quarters. The Iraqi quarter was definitely just really boring. It was pretty standard bosses, nothing special to them. The play quarter was a lot more fun, and this one is just challenging. It's different. It's really nice. This match specifically, actually. So the 4 horsemen, his hero power is to draw 2 cards. So quite similar to the last hero, except that he draws 2 cards instead of 1, and it costs 5 mana. So in general, it almost feels like a nerf. So I went with a pretty simple method for this match. I got a lot of silences because, as you can see, he starts off with 3 legendary creatures on the board, and the idea is that he's invulnerable. He basically has Ice Block, the Mage Secret, on him, which makes it so that he can't die until that invulnerability is removed. And the invulnerability is a stat line on all 3 of his legendaries, so he can't be killed until you kill all 3 legendaries. However, they only deal 1 damage. He also has a weapon that deals 1 damage, and he pretty much starts off with them all in turn 1. Another thing to keep in mind is the secrets that he has, the Paladin secrets. They can bring his minion back to life. They can set a health of a minion that you play to 1. And he also uses the new secret released in Curse of Naxxramas, which it's basically a death rattle. When one of your minions are killed, it buffs up any remaining minions, or it buffs up a remaining minion at random. So basically, I was getting past most of the secrets just by using silences, and just by basically having direct removal. I do have 2 Poison Seed cards in this. I also have 2 Naturalizes, so it was a very easy match. Once I basically got rid of the passives on the 3 minions, they became useless, and I could just burn the main champion down, because that's the entire purpose. Very, very simple. I did lose the match the first few times because I lost the match once using the Shaman control deck and once using the Druid control deck, and then I realized, why am I even bothering when I can just use silences? And this is probably the easiest match when counted, but it was still enjoyable. I will be releasing the Clash Challenges video soon, so take care, have a nice day.
Military quarter has failed me. It's so hard to get good help these days.